I'd like to dig into a couple of examples. If you can, Charles, share a company that has done a really nice job with the 70-20-10
Oh,
approach.
sure. Yeah. Let me give you one example. I can just share my screen again. There are some organizations which are doing some really good work in this area. And I think this is a good example. Citibank, which most people here will know Citibank or Citigroup. Some years ago, Citi decided that they needed to step out of this idea that all they needed to do for learning and development was to serve up courses and programs and learning pathways and so on. So the L&D department at Citibank worked with their internal comms department and their marketing people, and they came up with this whole hash be more, this whole campaign. They decided their model would be they would move from courses to campaigns. They would get learning and development to think more in the campaign mode. In other words, when we have we have a problem we're solving or an opportunity we need to take advantage of, our organizations need to take advantage of, how does L&D fit into that? So they based it on 70-20-10, although the first conversations I had at Citibank, someone said to me, Charles, we're a bank, give us a set of numbers and everyone will want to know what the numbers are all about. So they call it the 3 E's: how we learn through experience, how we learn through exposure to others, and how we learn through education. It required a mindset change because we were moving from the idea that, in fact, we produce a course to how can we create solutions which are embedded within the work, that are exploiting other people and that have some formal elements in. And rather than starting with course design, you start by identifying the impact. What impact is what we are doing? Is this project we're working on? What is the impact going to be? And that's a really difficult question. It comes back to the earlier question about management. If someone requests you to produce a course or do something or do whatever, if they can't describe to you the impact that they want it to have, you need to really explore that deeply with them, because if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get there. So you start by identifying the designing. Rather than designing and building for skills, you design and develop for behaviors and performance, because learning is really just behavior change, which results in better performance. It also moved, as I say, developing away from thinking about individuals and teams into organization. So we have to start with the organization. What are we doing which is going to really help our organization? Now, it may be that you're down with a team who are working in a particular bit of the organization. Of course, you focus on those, but you need to see the bigger picture as well. And also, you're moving from just aligning learning with work to embedding learning in work. And that requires this mindset change from a learning paradigm into a performance paradigm, and which means we're focusing not so much just on the input, but we're focusing on what are the outputs going to be. And you're not trying to measure the learning bit, you're actually measuring the performance bit. We say, okay, what organizational results are we looking for? What critical tasks need to be carried out, and to what level do they need to be carried out to deliver those results? Then what are the influences? What are the environmental influences? In other words, are there things stopping people doing a good job? Do they have the right tools? Do they have good leadership? Do they have the right incentives? All those sorts of things, which are really important. And then you can start to do your design. You need to have a methodology that you're going to use, a standard methodology. And if you have clarity around that, then your L&D team can deliver consistent quality solutions rather than, one-offs, sort of mum and pop one-offs to every challenge or every opportunity that comes along. Otherwise, we end up with our heads down, content driven, heads down, and we don't know the impact of our work.